We have to get live on Facebook and we get ready to. Uh, yes. Do. Okay. Okay. Public. Not public news, but
Me.
is this we put our title in here today. It's typing right. Autoimmune. Okay. What to spell disease, right? We're going live. Okay, Dr. B, I think we're live. Let me see. And we are. We're live.
The line.
Yes.
All
So
right.
come back over here where you are so I can see you. Hello, Dr. B.
Good evening.
Hello. And welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Once again, we're coming to you live with our information that will um, help you understand different things and different questions that have been sent to us. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson, along with Dr. Rashawn Broadnax. And today we're going to have a discussion over a question or a title that has been sent to us to talk about. Okay, Dr. B?
Yes,
Um,
sounds great.
okay. Dr. B, could you get us started? What are we talking about today?
Sure. So, good evening, everybody. We are happy to be here with our second show of the new year. And tonight's topic is about autoimmune diseases. And it comes by way of a question that was asked, basically centering around what are autoimmune diseases and how do they affect the growth of hair or the loss of hair, we should say. Um, so, pretty much that's what we're going to give you a little information about this evening. And we hope that what we bring to you will will just shed some light into some things that you may have experienced, or if you are a practitioner, something you may see from another client or something that they may have brought to you. So, tonight's show, again, autoimmune diseases.
All right. This is, to me, a very, very, very important uh, topic because we're seeing more and more auto uh, immune deficiencies and diseases along those lines. And what is happening is that the first question was, what causes autoimmune disease? Well, first of all, we have to, being hair loss practitioners and specialists, we do have to tackle the health of the client along
Hmm.
with not just taking care of their scalp, but their well-being.
Hmm.
When you're talking about autoimmune disease, um, this is something I wrote down to remember or to help others to remember. This is on a basic level to help people understand autoimmune disease. It occurs because the body's natural defense, the immune system, attacks the body's own healthy tissue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it actually goes in. The body is designed to be able to repair itself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a deficiency or something is abnormal in the body, instead of it attacking the problem, it attacks itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the inside of the body. Okay. So researchers have several ideas about why this happens. When the body senses danger from a virus or infection, the immune system begins to go into attack mode. But
Mm-hmm.
since it's now, so to speak, off a little bit or whatever, it's instead of it attacking the virus or the
Mm-hmm.
infection, it attacks itself.
Right.
Okay. So to me, that was a more simpler way of explaining it to someone. Um, do we see it a lot? We do.
Absolutely.
We see. Um, I think something else that was asked is what can trigger autoimmune disease?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it can be several things, Dr. B. Um,
Right.
um, like what we're dealing with now. Okay, seasons changing, the weather's changing, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got this this COVID that's out, which is attacking the it can attack the autoimmune. If your immune system is at its lowest place, if it's not
Mm-hmm.
at its best, then it's open to
Mm-hmm.
receive whatever.
Susceptible.
You don't have anything to fight.
Right.
Nothing can fight. Now, one thing which was surprising to me because we deal with people, this particular person is dealing with hair loss. Okay. So we found out that trauma happened in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And people don't realize, even being angry, um, you have these different uh, things that are released in the body that will attack those organs, those
Mm-hmm.
main organs that you need. Well, she dealt with this stress, this seriously stress issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she's dealing with this fear factor of the COVID, not being able to get around people, and all this is going on in her head. She has, she has poor eating. A lot has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So now the body is not at its best.
Right.
It's more or less weak and open
Mm-hmm.
to um to receive. But this is what I like because the body's natural defense, the immune system, attacks the body's own healthy tissues. They're finding out that when the body gets to that place where it's trying to fight, it has lost direction on what to fight and it's fighting anything in its path. And it just happens to be a part of its system.
Right.
Okay. And that amazed me because I know we don't look at stress or anything like that as being a main factor of deficiencies or
Mm-hmm.
causing deficiencies, but that's true. This is
Absolutely.
totally true. So if you're not eating the right foods to help build up that immunity in that body, then yeah, you're gonna leave your body open
Mm-hmm.
to whatever. You don't have anything to fight with. You just at a battle. You had a battle with no gear, no nothing. You just out there.
Just out there doing. Yeah, and I think the one of the key points that you bring out is, you know, especially today, we're dealing with a lot of different things that stress, that causes stress, that brings on stress, and we know that that's one of the number one things that tears our body down is stress.
Absolutely.
And so people have to remember, even though we think, oh, we can get through anything, and virtually, I believe, if you put one foot in front of the other, you can always keep going. That's my personal motto, right?
Okay.
But in order to do that, you have to do other things. And so your mind has to be at a certain place. Your well being, in terms of your health, your internal health, has to be in a certain place. When those things are off, it makes, like you said, your body susceptible to a lot of different
Yeah.
things. So the stress, we always say, stress can kill. because it literally weakens your body to where you cannot tend to fight off anything. You can't move forward with a lot of things. So stress is a number one. You know, I always say stress is the number one killer, but it
Yeah,
leads the pack in those things that really
it's the
severely.
leader. But you know,
It
they also call stress, they call stress a silent killer.
the silent killer, right?
Yeah,
Because we don't realize what it's doing.
absolutely. And then a lot of times we'll tell ourselves we're not going through those issues. When we look at the news or
Mhm.
just in the world today, it has a,
It has a psychological
yeah,
effect.
it does, it does. But when we're dealing with our clients, which I'm noticing a lot of times, they are coming in and it's like little things that hadn't bothered them is now a
Right.
big problem for them. And um, like when I was talking to this young lady, the one that asked these questions, she says, well, I don't understand. What is the difference between an autoimmune disease
Hmm.
and an autoimmune deficiency?
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, that's a good question. Because a lot of times, you know, we use the words interchangeable,
Hmm.
but they do have, the difference is, and this is what I wrote down, okay? The The immune system disorder causes abnormalities, low activity, overactivity of the immune system.
Hmm.
Okay, that's that that's part of that deficiency. You know, when you have a deficiency, you have it, but you don't have enough of it, and
Hmm.
something is missing.
Enough of something, right?
Okay, something is missing. But then you have the immune system overactively acting too much, you know, the body attacks and damages its own tissue. That's
Right.
the disease part.
Hmm.
Okay. That's the disease part. So when we're talking about the two different, one can be worked on, both
Right.
of them really, but one definitely. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's the deficiency. When
Issue.
there's a deficiency, you find out what's
Add
missing
to it.
and you
Right.
put it back in. But when you got that disease, it's fighting.
Right.
It's a little bit more complicated than the deficiency.
Hmm.
Now, what I'm finding out, we do find a lot of clients that come to us that have a deficiency. Well, they have a lot of deficiency, iron deficiency, you
Hmm.
know, just different things that we have to pay attention to in order to help them. And you look at it, you say, well, this kind of easy fix if you got a deficiency. We just find out what you're lacking and put that in. But the hard part is, Dr. B, is getting people if you give them a list of things to do, it's hard getting people to be
To
faithful.
follow it.
Get now
Hmm.
that's the problem. That's
Yes.
a lot of the problem I have. So I did explain to her what was the difference. She has a deficiency, not the disease,
Right.
but it can lead to the disease.
It can lead to the disease. Right.
So if you're not taking care of that problem when you first diagnose or you first find out that there's a deficiency, it
Hmm.
can lead to the disease. And the disease is incurable.
Hmm.
It it can it can tear the body up. It
Hmm.
really can. So I think I think explaining to them the immune deficiency disease decreases the body's ability to fight invaders, causing vulnerability to any type of infections.
Right.
Okay. So, and I think this day and time, we really need to be conscious of building up so we won't be open to
Don't find ourselves
yeah,
susceptible
yeah,
to
we
things.
leave ourselves open so much because we're in a hurry. You
Hmm.
know, we don't have time for this, blah blah blah. I'm gonna fix a little of this, I'm gonna do this, do this, do that. It's just a lot going on. But when I'm talking to a client, like I'm talking to this young lady, I suggest that she do fruits
Hmm.
in the morning, um, for breakfast before she actually eat a heavy. So, because fruits go in and cleanse the body,
Hmm.
and it will even be very good if you can get that body cleansed really good, you know, before you start packing everything else in.
Right. Right.
But that's the hardest thing, Dr. B. is getting back to basics or getting back to what is productive in building. You got to keep the body built up.
Hmm.
Don't you agree?
I totally agree. I think that, you know, like you said, you have to go back to the basics. And sometimes, like what I tell people, you have to think back to when you were young, the things that your mother used to tell you to do. Like I know in my family, I thought it was the most disgusting thing in the world, but it was I think it wasn't it was the cod liver oil.
Yeah, I
And
still take it.
so, and we started talking about that recently in my family of how my mother said, I gave it to you because your great aunt, which was my father's aunt, said, give this to the baby and he'll never be sick. And I was never a sickly child. Like as I got older, I took pride in, oh, I never got sick. And if I ever felt like kind of sick, I was able to fight it off really
Yeah,
easily. My solution was jump into bed with a sweatsuit and I was fine by tomorrow. But it was because I was still in that habit, you know, and it wasn't until really in my later years that I kind of got away from that. But that was the basics of what kept my body healthy. And so I think people have to think back to and do those things that they know have kind of kept their bodies healthy. If it is, you know, making sure that you eat your vegetables, you know,
right,
regularly, like you said, start out with your fruits and vegetables, those things that you know that are going to go through your system the way they're supposed to and come out, because it helps cleanse that
yep.
system out, right? And
And
then
you
the other
that's
foods
good.
that we put,
Mhm.
they kind of stay in there. So we need the body is a well-oiled machine, really.
Okay,
You
okay.
know, that's how we have it really is. You know, it is a well-oiled machine if you put into it what's supposed to go in there.
If you
And
put
it will
okay,
right. And
I
it will keep itself healthy and running if you
yeah,
put into it what's supposed to be there. It's
one.
the a lot of the processed foods and things like
Yeah, that's
that
good. That's
that go
good.
in and they sit. You know, they don't come back out as easily.
Yeah,
Right. So that's when we get like the irritable bowel or
yes.
what do you call it? The inflammatory bowel system, all that kind of stuff because the food is not coming out the way it's supposed to, and then compact it with
Yeah.
the other things that we deal with in life, the stress, the this is going on, that's going on. Like we're now in the midst of the pandemic, like you said, we that's stressing people out because there's really no answer. That's what I find that a lot of things stress people is when they don't have answers for whatever's going on or they don't know how to move forward beyond whatever's going on. So that tends to stress them. And so, like you mentioned, the pandemic, we don't know when it's going to end. We don't know if the virus is airborne, if it's not. It's too many unanswered questions. And we're sitting at home, really living in fear. That's where a lot of people are starting to stress. And of course, those things are coming out along with our hair.
And
So,
we're seeing more of it. We're seeing
absolutely.
we're seeing, I often talk about how there were a time I only thought people lost their hair when they got old. Now that's just
Mhm.
me, And I'm like you, Dr. B. I
No,
grew up.
I put some too.
My mother did garlic water. She did stuff, but we were some of the and and to think about it, they used a lot of natural. Hear
Mm-hmm.
me good. They used a lot of natural ingredients in our bodies. This
Mm-hmm.
is one thing I wanted to tell along with this question that was brought to us was that anytime that you're doing a lot of synthetic
Mm-hmm.
base regimen, food, processed food, just like you said, the
Mm-hmm.
body rejects it because the body's designed to absorb all natural.
Mm-hmm.
Natural. We came from the earth. Everything the body's designed to absorb it with
Right.
no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helps that well greased
Well, oil machine.
machine
Right.
make it just work because you're putting the proper things in it.
Right.
But I think what has happened, we have gotten to the place where we are putting so much processed food, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Good example. We were talking about One of my clients had to have a allergy test.
Hmm.
Okay, come to find out, I said, well, why she got to take an allergy? Because we need to know what she's eating because
Right.
it's causing some problems because this is abnormal. Well, cheese, dairy products, she can't have them.
Hmm.
Okay, processed cheese is like this, and I hate to use this illustration, but I'm going to. It's like, I don't want to say eating glue, but it's like eating a substance that
Hmm.
goes in the body and just stay there.
Right. Hmm. It doesn't break down. It gets mushed, but it does not break down.
So if your food is not breaking down,
Hmm.
it's staying there and it's causing gut problems. Because I
Hmm.
know eventually we're going to talk about the leaky gut and all of that.
Right.
But that's a problem that causes you got leaks going in here and you got all this
Hmm.
processed food that's passing through the body that's going in the wrong direction that's causing all type of trouble. And so when I was talking to her, I said, well, what is it? She said, well, I love dairy stuff. Look, you can't have it. I pray, and this go for me too, that we get to the place where when we're told it's something we can't have, we have we get to the place where we say, okay, I can't have
I
it.
can't do
I'm gonna
it.
leave it alone.
Hmm.
But you know what? It looks like, oh, it appears that some things that we like are not good for us, and we did it tastes so wonderful, but they're not good for us. The fruit in the morning is a necessity to cleanse the body. Your vegetables, which is your green leafy vegetables,
Hmm.
is what's good for healing the body.
Hmm.
And one of the students I was talking to today, I enjoyed talking to her today. I think she's on here. Marguerite is on here. We were talking. Those green leafy vegetables is
Hmm.
best done, not mushy cooked, but
Hmm.
steamed because your
Yes.
nutrients, it's in either the leaf of the vegetable or whatever vegetable you eat, but it's in the stem, it's in there. It's designed to have all that you need. So when you eat it and you prepare it correctly, Dr.
Hmm.
B, it's like medicine to the body,
Absolutely.
like that cod liver oil.
Exactly. But you know what? The other good thing that people should know about the why that we they say leafy green vegetables because they also help with the cleansing.
Yeah.
That those, like you said, when you cook things down to where they're mush, they kind of just pass through, right?
Okay.
But also part of with the leafy portion of it, yes, you have all your nutrients, but that also helps with the cleansing as it's going through the body. That's why they tell us, you eat what's like the flaxseed and all those things that have kind of a
Yeah.
grain or that's going to cause a little bit of I think of it as like scraping, but I don't, it's not scraping, but it causes a little bit, I want to say light abrasion, if you will, as
Okay.
it's
Okay.
going through. It's cleansing, it's helping to cleanse the body as it's going through the intestine. It's pulling through all of the waste that may be sitting there in the lining, and that's good for, again, trying to just empty the body out and get rid of all the stuff that you should not have.
Right.
Like in terms of the processed food, one of the things that kind of changed my mind in terms of processed food was the experiment that was done with McDonald's. And they showed how the McDonald's hamburger, if you let it sit out, it would never mold. It would just sit there.
Really?
And it took a long time. Yeah, but it's because of the preservatives that are in there. And so they said, if it does this, if you can sit this hamburger on the counter and it can go days without molding and it doesn't break down, it doesn't do anything, it's just kind of there before it starts going through all that, the what we say is like the natural process, the molding and all that kind of stuff. That's what's happening in your body. We know that those foods, they don't readily come out. So it's in your body sitting in that form before it starts to break down. And that's why with those foods, you do experience like the expansion of the gut and all that because it doesn't come right through. It tends to sit there for a while.
So can you imagine foods that we're eating and it's just sitting there?
Sitting. Hmm.
and it's not past. Because remember now, we talked about the body being a well-oiled
Well
machine.
machine. Mm-hmm.
So what the waste got to come out. It got
Mm-hmm.
to come out. And I think I posted, it's been a while, about the poop
Mm-hmm.
and how it tells you something's wrong on the
Right.
inside of your body. A lot of times we need to take time to really review what's going on with our body. Our body will tell us a lot if we would just pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about this autoimmune um, 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 disease and disorder and deficiency and different things, we're saying that when people come to us and I look at their scalp through the trioscope,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that the scalp looks abnormal. It has hair up under there that's trying to come through, but because of what's happening on the inside of the body, it's attacking it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, are we going to go into alopecia? Or are we going to wait until? Because I think we probably need to wait till next week to do that, right?
Okay.
Okay, because that's a deficiency
Mm-hmm.
that we do need to talk about it, and I don't want to go into it because I know we got some more material for that. But when we're talking about the autoimmune hair loss, here's a question she asks: is it permanent?
Mm-hmm.
Can it be fixed? What can I do? What needs to be done? Oh, I need help, blah, blah, blah. And it goes back to the types that I was talking about, the disease and the deficiency. I said, when you're first diagnosed and your practitioner or your trichologist is telling you that they're seeing this, and then your doctor has told you that you've got this deficiency going on, then right then and there, you need to start fixing that
Mm-hmm.
part of it. Like we have we test sometime to see about the iron deficiency in
Mm-hmm.
our clients or whatever. Well, when we begin to tell you that, that means that we're telling you this so that you can go back and fix this problem. Go and take the things, eat the foods that will put back in you
Right.
what you need. Now, but when it gets so bad to where it's now attacking itself and it's fighting, it can turn into the disease. And yes,
Right.
it is permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Permanent. So I'm like this. If you first see some things happening, or you realize, if even if you have just shedding,
Mm-hmm.
and you go get your hair done on the regular, whatever, bring it to your stylist attention.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If that stylist is not in a position where they can give you more information about it, go see your physician, let them know you're having some issues, or look look up and find your hair loss practitioner,
Mm-hmm.
find your trichologist, someone that specializes in these different types of autoimmune deficiencies and diseases, and get the help that you need. A lot of times I think we wait until the last minute,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time some people come, it's beyond, I can't help, I can't repair it. Then we
Right.
have to go to something else that they need. But
Right.
it's never too late to try to fix a
Mm-hmm.
bad situation. You can at least try to work on your immune system, you know,
Absolutely.
because
And I
it's
think that's so, I'm
mhm,
sorry, so important that you said that because I think our natural mindset oftentimes is we try to, whatever is going on with us, we try to fix it. And usually our fix is a cover up, and if you think
okay,
about
okay,
even just the simplest thing, if we have a blotch on our skin, we want to put makeup over it. If we have something on our body, we want to cover it up. So our natural thing is to try to cover it up, not necessarily going to heal it.
okay,
And the best thing that you can do, like you said, is you talk to your practitioner or your trichologist or somebody that can provide additional information to you. Even if they just say, hey, I don't know, you need to go see a physician or somebody else that can really give you some other information. But the quicker that you work towards a solution, the better for you, because that's the point where you may be able to turn the situation around. The unfortunate thing is, the longer you wait, really you move into the area of you may not be able to turn it around, and your only resort or recourse is to cover it up. And so that is like another topic that we can talk to in terms of like, I don't want to say, well, with hair systems and things like that, and why some people wear those. And
Yeah,
even now, we have people who say, oh, I've been in, my weed 50, 15, or 20 years. And you ask them why. Oh, because I had this spot where the hair had come out, and now it's a much larger spot. I don't have any hair in the crown of my head, but they have waited so long because they were used to just covering it up, and they were going to a stylist who is not as knowledgeable, or who didn't say, hey, go see somebody about this.
yeah.
And we just covered it up to the point where now it's no turning back. And now I have no choice but to cover it up.
But to cover it up,
You
and
know,
that's a topic within itself because
absolutely.
there's a danger in cover up.
In cover up, right.
A danger
Mm-hmm.
in cover up. But as we get ready to come to a close,
Mm-hmm.
we appreciate the question that was sent to us about the autoimmune. There's so much we could say about it, and I think we're gonna probably do a little bit more in depth talk about the autoimmune. Here is what I know we will talk about on the next one: is can hair loss be a sign of something serious?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we can tell you exactly what it is, what
Mm-hmm.
signs to look for. Um, and this is still dealing with the autoimmune. And we're going to talk about one particular one that has um, been visible in our line of work. And we're going to be talking about an alopecia that's part of the autoimmune. Um, this can turn, it starts out as a deficiency, but it can
Mm-hmm.
develop into a disease. So we're going to talk about it on our next segment of Let's Talk About It Tuesday.
Right.
Remember to please send in your questions, your comments, your likes, share, and let's get the information out to help people understand that there is help for us.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are going through something,
Right.
going through something, and there is an answer for everything. So when they're asking us about these disorders and diseases and deficiencies, we want to be able to explain it to you and help. Hopefully we can help you with something. And I'm sure next Tuesday the Lord say the same. We'll
Mm-hmm.
get back on here and we're going to be talking about the alopecia areata, and we can talk about some things that you can do to help if you have this deficiency or it has developed into a disease.
Mm-hmm.
The one we're going to talk about both of them, but we're hoping that we're talking to some people that now being exposed to it and can be helped,
Mm-hmm.
because there is help for you. You just got to know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dr. B, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I was just going to add that the um, alopecia areata is something that we see very often. And, if you want to know exactly what you can do, if you're at the stage where where you can turn things around for yourself, join us again next week and we'll be more than happy to share that information. I'm excited about that topic, or moving forward with the topic, because I think that is a very interesting,
Very.
um, I'll say, disorder that, I think so. And again, we do see it quite often. And alopecia, I'll just add, is one of those things that there's so many forms of alopecia. Usually, when people say, "Oh, my hair is coming out," yes, I have alopecia. Well, what kind of alopecia do you have? We have tons of types of alopecia that we can discuss moving forward in the future. But next week we'll discuss the areata and whether or not, or what you can do to turn that type of situation around. So I'm excited.
And you know what? I was reading, I'm going to read something that Marguerite just put in here, which
Okay.
is excellent. She says, also eat right for your blood type. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another topic I think we need to go back and revisit, because we talked a little bit about it one time in a segment that we did, but I think we need to revisit, because when you
Absolutely.
learn how to eat right for your blood type, you'll be surprised. finding out about your blood type, what you can have, what works good for your body. Remember now, we're all designed
Mm-hmm.
uniquely, and we have been given different blood types for a particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, eating correctly for your particular type is just like all flashlights don't carry the same batteries,
Batteries.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So one may carry this and one may carry, because it's designed that way. Well, we're designed differently. Okay. So we've got to learn how to put the correct things in your design.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Marguerite, that's good. Um, um, Eat Right for Your Blood Type is number one. Um, I suggest a lot of people get that book,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not aware of your blood type, go find out from your physician and
Right.
then read. You'll find out a lot of things that's on there that you've been eating,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll tell you what's
That should be
happening
fine.
to your body. You say,
Right.
I didn't know that.
That's why that's happening.
You know, and we laugh all the time because I love chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to have chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So if I eat too much of it, it causes my joints to ache
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So I wouldn't have known that had I not studied the book. But
Right.
this is what the type of information we want to definitely get out to everybody that tune in to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Once again, we're glad. You can look in the box. I think it has been posted, how to get in touch with us. I think Mr. Robinson put on there, you can ask your questions and get your answers. Post in the comment box and inbox. You can inbox us. You can send it by way of I'm reading y'all posts. So if I laugh, I'm um, by way of, you can send, if you want to send some more questions, which I invite you to, we want you to send it to p2p information 7 at gmail.com. Okay. Or you can send it to Rashawn at theredchair.com. That's correct,
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn.
Yes.
Okay, because we want to come to you all each week with information that you want to talk about. Get you answers to things that's going on. Diabetes, you name it, lupus. We're going to talk about all of these things because now they're resurfacing in our businesses and we need to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are so delighted and glad to come to you today. Check us out. You can go to our YouTube, which is P2P you can check us out. This video will be on there. So if you just want to go back and revisit it or whatever, you can. And you all turn this into a watch party for your friends. Let's help each other be healthy. Let's
Yes.
build up a strong immune system as a people so
Mm-hmm.
we can survive anything, any deficiency, any disease that come our way.
That's right. And the best way to do that is through information.
That's right. So we're signing off and we appreciate you tuning in. Once again, thank you so much.
All right. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week.
Good night.